Hi there, astronomers. Newland here. I want to talk briefly about how humans are literally planning to hopefully find an asteroid in the sky that might be heading our way before it gets there, which we talked about pretty extensively from the standpoint of the NEOWISE mission or PanSTARRS or some of the other surveys that are looking all over the sky for these objects. Once we find them, what would we do? So the first thing most people mention is blow it up. Well, the truth is that objects in space that might be scary enough to destroy a city or destroy civilization, they're too big to blow up. If it were small, maybe we could hope to just destroy it altogether with a nuclear explosion. The series of images you see here from a nuclear explosion is a good way to start the discussion. What we could use is, instead of blowing it up, we could put a nuclear bomb on the side of it and cause chunks of that explosion and chunks of the asteroid to act as a form of thrust, and we could redirect it. So you'll notice that as I go through these different things, these are really only about redirecting an asteroid. There's no serious conversation about being able to completely destroy a object with a nuclear bomb. There are some other ideas, but to be blunt, that's not going to work. So what else we got besides put a bomb on it and act as thrust? So there's the idea of parking something not that far away from it and using a object that we would build. Like, imagine bringing a bunch of smaller pieces of rock together into a giant chunk, and then we fly that junk near that big chunk of rock that we build nearby the asteroid that we are concerned about, and then fly it out of the way. Now, this is not very well developed, but it's a serious attempt. The idea is we build something that would maybe surround all of the debris and then fly it out there to redirect the asteroid with gravity. We'll talk more about that in a minute. There's another plan there. There's also this idea that you could fly to a spacecraft and use the fly to an asteroid, with a spacecraft, land on it, and actually throw chunks of the asteroid out to act as a form of thrust, or maybe pick up pieces of it and fly off with it, as opposed to trying to destroy the whole thing. Maybe use the object itself as rip off parts of it and throw them into space to act as its own kind of thrust. Now, if something is small enough and light enough, like, say, comets or maybe Matilda, a C-type asteroid, then the gravity tractor technique may work. And here I'll see if I can't find the animation of that here. I know it was here. It's not a bad idea. This is a redirect idea. Here it is. Here's our gravity tractor idea. So you send our massive object up there, maybe building it with a bunch of smaller debris like we described, or maybe simply having a whole bunch of metal and putting it all together. But either way, it would be a massive object that we could build, fly it out to the asteroid, and park it in this weird orbit you see here, where the object would be gravitationally attracted to our gravity tractor, and then we keep the engines going and sort of tow it away. The main goal with all of these is that it won't take just a huge amount of redirection, a huge amount of thrust, a huge amount of gravity from a gravity tractor to make it miss Earth. Maybe it would fly close by and we could look at it up close, but it would miss us and not necessarily hit a city and destroy us. So these mitigation techniques are all about future technologies going out to where these asteroids are and either building something on the asteroid, adding a bomb to the side and blowing it up, or using a gravity tractor. These technologies are all on paper or in animations like you see here. So it's really the kind of thing we have to try to do more. We've got to try to make these. Here's one where you would use sunlight redirected onto the surface to cause a form of thrust. You could build engines onto the actual, imagine flying to the asteroid, building engines and firing those up. The mass driver idea that's mentioned here is where we literally break off chunks of the asteroid and throw them in. So instead of a normal conventional rocket engine, you would throw chunks of the asteroid out into space. There's also this pretty wackadoodle idea of building a giant laser, which instead of blowing up the whole thing would again, cause thrust to form on the side of it where you hit it with a laser. There's some other ideas that are kind of out there, but the thing is, none of these should be taken off the table. The argument here is that there's so many different things we really should be thinking about. How are we gonna to make it happen? So I'm putting it to you that it's kind of up on your shoulders now to figure out how in the future you're going to prevent an asteroid from destroying a city or destroying civilization. So get on it, kids. Here, I'll leave you with that animation. Sunlight redirected onto the side of an asteroid to form some thrust. Cool idea. All right. Bye, everybody.